I took the liberty of opening up my box. I didn't share it with you, I'm sorry. But I pulled my breadboard out, and I pulled the microcontroller out. I've actually already used this one, which is why the pins are bent. These are headers right here. These allow easy access to the inputs and outputs on the microcontroller. So these little soldered joints are here. We're going to spend time talking about the actual what's going on inside of all this stuff soon. But when you pull out your board out of like the static foam stuff, just, be aware of these pins here. You don't want to do what I did and bend them. Not the end of the world, but if they break, you'll need to fix it, and who wants to do that? You get a nice little booklet thanking you for receiving one of these, and stickers. Everybody wants stickers. So what you're going to want to do to make sure that, in part, that these pins don't get any more damage than I already have, is you're going to want to put your chip inside of your breadboard. And the breadboard is something, like I said, it's where we're going to build circuits. The way that it's lined up is that these along the side here, these rows that have, or these columns with the plus and minus, those are electrically connected down along here in this direction, right? So any one of these points in this column, so this point and like this point, or sorry, this point, or this point, or this point, or this point, or this point, any of those are electrically connected to one another. It's separate from this column right here. So like this point and this point are not connected, but this point and like this point are, right? So like this and this, no, this and this, no, but this and this, yes, or this and this, yes, right? So this is also called a bus line. It's typically used for power and ground. That's why the stripes are there. I'm going to wire up my board right away so that I've got power going into power and ground in the bus line here, because I need that for all of my circuits. These other ones here, these are electrically connected differently. They're connected along the rows. So this point, this row right here is connected, and then it's broken right here by the center, and then this row right here is connected. This row is connected, this row is connected, this row is connected, right? In fact, you can see what the underside of a breadboard looks like right here. So this is a breadboard with the paper. This is just like a sticker on the back here, so you could stick it onto something. Love stickers, right? Don't peel this off. Keep it on there. But this is what the underside of a breadboard looks like. So you can see this is how these are connected underneath here. Just a thin strip of metal, right? So that's all connected, that, these right here. So that's how electricity passes through this. So to set this up, all you're going to want to do is just line up your microcontroller so that it slots into these holes here. You might need to sort of like finesse it a little bit. You don't want to, it might feel like you're kind of jamming it in there, and that's because you are. But you kind of want to just sort of like, so it's going to look like this when you first get it in, then you're just going to push it down so it gets all the way in like that. And you want it to sit flush, right? It needs to be flush like this, right? You don't want it like sticking up or popping out. And you can see here I've got it straddling that center line. So I've got 3 bus rows over on the side here, and I've got 2 over here. That's fine. It doesn't matter if if you've got 3 on this side and 2 on this side, but don't do it like 1 and 4 or whatever, right? Just trying to get them as even as possible. So like I said, this microcontroller receives power through USB, but we want to power the rest of our circuit when we're working with anything. And so what I'm going to do first, before I do anything else with my microcontroller, so I'm going to take a short red and a short black wire, and I'm going to wire up power and ground on one side of the board. So these pins that have little white paint on them on the top, these pins are your ground pins. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick a black wire in that same row as this white pin right here, and then I'm going to stick the other end of it up into my ground bus line. Shift this over so perspective-wise you can see it better. The other thing that I'm going to do is this second pin from the top. This is power on the board. So I'm going to stick a red wire there, and then I'm going to pull that over and plug it in right here. Now I've got, when I plug this in, I will have power and ground flowing through this separately. You want to make sure that each of these is in their own unique column. If you put them in the same column, you'll cause a short. This will catch on fire. You'll be sad. No shorts allowed. So that's it, right? This is how you set up your breadboard. And from here, you can start to wire some things up. In the next video, what I'll do is I'll show you how to wire up an LED so it turns on when you press a button. It's the hello world of electronics.